Hey friend, welcome to the show, or welcome back. So happy you're here. Today I've got 7 tips for you to be more expressive and emotive in your singing. And through this, you can make a deeper impact with your voice. You can touch the hearts of those who hear it. And so they not only hear it, but most importantly, they feel it. And in order for anyone else to feel it, you yourself must feel it. So we're going to get into some tangible examples of vocal and musical skills that can be learned and developed and applied through practice, as well as some less technical, more energetic elements of the emotional side of singing. So let's get into all of that and more with my 7 tips to sing with feeling. Welcome to Reawaken Your Voice. I'm Lainey Prendeville Crawford, holistic voice coach, singer, song weaver. I believe the song in your heart holds medicine for yourself and for the world. And yet too often, something happens along the way. We shut down our voice and our song goes unsung. Whether you stopped singing years ago or have always harbored an unrealized dream to start, if you're ready to finally give voice to those unsung songs in your heart, then take my hand as I guide you to free yourself from the inner critic, reignite your creativity, find your courage, sing with confidence, and reawaken those dormant parts of yourself aching for a revival. So dust off your songbooks, tune up your guitar, bust out your singing bowls, your shakers, your drum. Actually, all you really need is your voice, your breath, open ears, and an open heart. Let's play. So today we're talking about how to convey emotion through your voice and sing with feeling. But before we get into all that, I'd like to read you a review. This review is from Xenia Jane, and she says, breathtaking, joyful and sincere. I'm soothed, inspired, and enlivened that faith, imagination, heart, and synchronicity brought me to your podcast. You're such beautiful work and message. Such a gem that resonates evermore. When experience and creativity meet faith, sincerity, and courage, it's such a gift and momentum to explore. Helping you to come home to your true calling, to grow, to see such joy, to honor life, to just be. This, to me, is the heart of your work. With warmth, until soon, I truly hope. Xenia Jane. Thank you so much for your kind and heartfelt words, Xenia Jane. I'm so glad you're here. What a blessing it was to receive this. It truly brought tears to my eyes, and my heart welled up with emotion to know that this podcast is speaking to you. So thank you for taking the time to tell me so. And hey, if any of you that are listening would like to hear me read your review live on air, you can head over to Apple Podcasts and leave a written review for the show. That is the number one way that you can thank me. And I absolutely love to hear from you. It just lights my heart on fire to know that I'm helping people on their vocal journey. So thank you for being here. And let's dig into the show. So I've heard from some of you that you have a deep longing to access your emotions and express them through your voice, through your singing voice. And to use your voice and your stories to heal yourself, to heal others, to express a piece of the human experience. And so you ask, how can I be more expressive in my singing? How can I sing with more feeling? So it is on my heart to share with you all the answers that kind of emerged through these questions. Now I'm going to start with some more surface level concepts that are quite tangible, and then I'll go deeper into the realm of more energetic and intangible, yet still actionable concepts. Because we need a balance of both. We need the technical and the energetic to truly, most effectively express the human heart through the human voice. So our 7 tips, I'll outline them for you now. And I'm not sure if they're tips or ingredients or elements that go into the recipe of emotive, expressive singing. But either way, these 7 things are: number 1, dynamics; number 2, phrasing; number 3, pronunciation; number 4, tone color; number 5, embodiment; number 6, vulnerability; and number 7, heart. So I've been known throughout my life to be a bit dramatic. You can ask anyone close to me, they know. And perhaps that's why opera spoke to me early on. You know, something about the vast spectrum of human emotions layered upon a musical tapestry with death and destruction and grief and mourning and unrequited love and jealousy and all the things. But the emotional feeling part of singing for me came first, and quite naturally for me. Now, early on, before I really honed my skills, the technique often fell apart in the moment because I was so emotionally into the song that I was just overwhelmed with this emotion while singing, and, you know, all those technical things fell away. I didn't yet have the control over my instrument or the muscle memory or the musicianship or the experience to balance the technique with the emotion. But as I developed my musicianship through my vocal studies and my voice practice, I learned how to even that out, and I learned how to balance them. And as I progressed, I recognized that there actually were specific things that go into this emotional expression that are very tangible. And these skills can be learned. And then, as I focused on those skills, I began taking it to an extreme. Like, there was a time when I got so up in my head about technique that my heart got pushed to the wayside. My sound became more calculated, more robotic. I was so concerned about what it sounded like that I lost the emotional connection altogether, and it fell flat. So all of this to say, there's a balance. There really needs to be a balance between these elements, the technical and the emotional, energetic. So I'm going to share with you 7 pieces of that balanced puzzle that make for a well-rounded, whole, expressive singer. And not only that, but also a musician and a vocal artist. So let's get into step 1. We're starting on the surface and then going ever deeper with each of these. So number 1, dynamics. Dynamics are how loud or soft you sing. Crescendo, decrescendo, gradually getting louder or gradually getting softer. And using these dynamics intentionally to align with the message of the song. What you're singing about and the moment in the music, both lyrically and musically. So it's an artistic choice. And as you learn to manage your breath, you can learn to direct the airflow to have more control over the dynamics, the loud, the soft, the everything in between. So those are the dynamics. Number 2, phrasing. By phrasing, I mean the rise and the fall of the melodic line. And this too has to do with breathing. Again, learning breath management helps you to have more control of the phrasing and directing the air. But phrasing is also about where you put your emphasis. What's the most important word of the phrase? And sometimes the actual pitch of that note that's connected to that word or notes, it may dictate the emphasis. But other times there's more freedom in choosing where you place that oomph. So the phrasing is also about having momentum, creating movement in the musical line, movement forward. Number 3, pronunciation. There is such an opportunity when it comes to articulating the language and the words that are used. Especially as a vocalist, we have this beautiful ability to combine the language of music with our voice, with the language that we are singing in, the words, the lyrics. So you can really utilize consonants. Don't be afraid to sprinkle those in as if they're seasoning in the most delicious stew or soup. I must be hungry. I keep coming back to food. Ingredients, recipe, mix it all in like it's a soup. But those T's and those P's and singing through the voiced consonants, the V and the M and the Z, the ones that bring in the voice as well. Sing through those and play with these beautiful bits of your language or the language that you're singing in to really add another layer of juiciness. It's also about the way that you choose your vowel shapes. So not only can you color the music with the consonants, but also with the vowel shapes. And this kind of leads us into number 4, which is tone color or timbre, the color, the texture of your vocal tone. Is it clear? Is it breathy? Is it bright? Is it dark? You have the ability to make these artistic choices when you have a handle over your instrument as a whole, when you understand the resonance chambers throughout your body and how to tap into them to bring about a certain sound that expresses the message, the words that you're singing. So this is tone color. Number 5, embodiment. So now we're getting into more of the energetic pieces. But what I mean by embodiment is that you're putting yourself in that place emotionally. Whatever the emotion is that you're trying to convey, or the story you're telling through the song, or the message that you're relating through the song, recall the moment or a moment when you felt that way. And of course, this is easier to do if you wrote the song because you lived it. But if you're not the songwriter of that particular song, find a way to relate to that. Choose a moment or a season of your life when you felt those emotions that you're expressing. A time when that was your story. Or maybe it is in the here and now, and that's even more powerful. But really, it can be just as powerful to recall and bring it into the present. You know, there are aspects of light and dark within all of us as flawed, beautiful human beings. So tap into whatever it is that is called for within yourself. Which leads us to number 6, vulnerability. Let yourself go there. You must be willing to touch what is true, whether that is gently, subtly, or boldly, directly. You know, I've said this before and I'll say it again. As an artist, you must be willing to touch what is true, which means you must be willing to uncover what that is, open up to it, lean into it, and give it a voice. Seek out the truth, and you will find. But you must be willing to seek. You know, in the Bible, in the book of Matthew, Jesus says, "Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives. The one who seeks finds. And to the one who knocks, the door will be opened." But you must have the courage to knock. Number 7, heart. Get out of your head and into your heart. You can't be going through this checklist, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, in the moment. You can't let your insecurities and your self-judgment and your self-doubt and all those fears seep into the music. Because then we're feeling those things and we're sensing those things with you as the audience. So that becomes the feeling or the emotion you're conveying rather than the message of the song. So when you're singing, whether for your own heart in the coziness of your own home or performing on stage to express and emote, You must trust that all the technical things will be there because you've practiced them, right? It's a different state of mind when you are practicing those techniques, working on it. But when you're in this space of expression and letting it all flow, you must trust and surrender the how and allow your heart to take the lead. Lead with the heart. And this takes practice. And there will be times when you go in and out of it, and that's okay. We're human, and this is a practice. So once again, a quick recap of these 7 tips to be more expressive in your singing, or 7 ingredients that go into this delicious soup that we're creating. Even though I'm not too big on soup, there's some good soup out there, but anyways, I digress. Maybe a cake or something. Okay, quick recap. Number 1, dynamics. Number 2, phrasing. Number 3, pronunciation. Number 4, tone color. Number 5, embodiment. And number 6, vulnerability. Oh, and number 7, perhaps the most important of all, heart. Lead with the heart. Sing from your heart. Get out of your head and into your heart. So the key to bringing all of these together is really developing your musicianship and your artistry in sharing your heart through your voice. Your heart is already there. So it's a matter of practicing the translation of your heart language into the language of music and through the vessel of your voice, which comes back to freeing the voice, getting to know your voice, developing an understanding of how your voice was designed and how it works, and how to use it as an instrument of creative expression. So I invite you to choose one of these that speaks to you, one that wells up in you when you hear me talking about it. Whether that means you know this is something that you need to focus on, or whether it's something that you feel yourself resisting, or something that calls to you and pulls you in. Choose that one and begin sprinkling it into your singing practice. Maybe choose a song that feels like home to you, one that you're always drawn to sing, one that you always come back to. And choose one of these ingredients and begin sprinkling it into your singing practice. Begin sprinkling it in as you sing through that song, and see how you can transform the sound of your voice into the feeling of the message. And if you need some direction, some guidance in developing your musicianship, these technical skills I've spoken of, or working through the blocks that are standing in the way of opening up and sharing your heart with vulnerability and with strength, I can help you with all of that. Head to reawakenyourvoice.com/coaching, and you can book a one-on-one private coaching session with me where we can dig into all of this and make our own little culinary masterpiece, shall we say. May your voice flourish and blossom as you apply these concepts to your singing practice. Sending you so much love. Hey friend, thank you so much for listening. If this episode unlocked something in you or moved you in some way, I'd be so grateful if you'd leave me a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're streaming this, and share this episode with a friend who's been praying for a vocal breakthrough. Until we meet again, keep nurturing that song in your heart. Lots of love.